Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Three Dads and a Console. We know not every dad can stay up to date on the latest and greatest in video game news that you need to know about, so we're here to do it for you. Remember, this show is kid-friendly, so no earmuffs are needed. Now, on with the show, I'm Lava Plays, alongside, as always, the Court 32 degrees Celsius.
Dude, it is
Hold
hot
on.
in my house, and I just had to turn the air conditioning on. It is April. I was talking to you too, and then I realized it is 24 degrees Celsius in my house. Now, for the Canadian listeners, you get it. For you American listeners, okay, so 0 is cold. Okay? So like 24 is like 76
Yes.
in my house.
When
I
you
looked it
left,
up.
I was like, Pez, why is he so cold? And Pez is like, that's hot. I'm like, what is this in freedom degrees?
It is,
said
it
it's
is
like
like, and I
75.
just realized my vent is closed, so I'm gonna have to go change that after, because in the wintertime, I don't want the heat coming in here because our PCs, for the audio listeners, PCs are hot. They suck. Consoles are better. PCs suck.
Yep, sure.
These are facts. For the
It's just
heat,
math.
Pez,
I
heat
mean,
distribution.
it'll keep your house toasty.
Yeah, I don't need it to.
Console will do that.
But anyways, I had to turn the air on. I opened my pool today. It's a good day. It's summertime.
That's Will Smith.
Yes, it is. So
Okay.
for the audio listeners as well, and the people before, Pez and I were singing Jump by Crisscross, and Wabo was like humming along, and then I had to call him out and go, do you even know what the song is? And he's like, nope. And then we got into a whole rant about starter jackets, and Pez had the coolest starter jacket. Tell him, Pez.
Tell him try. I had a Bruin starter jacket. Okay. I had many starter jackets.
Now,
but
did you have the pullover or
I had
the
Bruins
button up?
pullover with
Ooh,
the half
pocket?
zip. With the pocket. I also had a Carolina Panthers a hoodie pullover with the half zip. Then I had an all white Panther starter pullover with the neon like baby blue and black on the sleeves. Yeah, I was my like middle school drip was incredible.
Did you fill it out with the starter hats with the NHL symbols on the side, and then because the starter hats were nice.
See, the problem with being a man of my size is hats that have snapbacks don't really fit well.
Snapback.
The snapback doesn't fit well. It's like it's hanging on that last button for dear life.
See, snapbacks are where it's at with me. I have fitted hats. My issue with fitted hats is I get a line across my forehead. Like they just don't fit I don't know what it is. I can't. It's either it's too big or it's too tight, and there's no in between for me. So I'm a snapback. Like this snapback Jays.
As a man
Blue Jays are awesome.
As a man with a pumpkin-esque head,
Ooh.
I've found out that the best fit hat for me is the flex fit hat. Got a little
those
stretch.
get sweaty.
It's still fitted. It's still fitted. It's perfect.
No.
That other voice you hear is Pez. As the pumpkin head.
Good day. Hello, it's me, Jack the Pumpkin Man. Good day, mates. How we doing? What's the crack? As the kids say.
Good.
The crack is 9, right? Is that what
90?
Crack is 90.
If it was 9, that wouldn't be good.
That'd
be abysmal.
Man. For people on YouTube, if you see
it would be 30 frames per second.
Oh man. Still probably still better than
you'll know
performance. If you see me, people on YouTube, if you see me just look to the right a little bit, it's because Tape to Tape is also streaming on Twitch right now, and
not to the left, to the left, to the left,
to the left.
That's right.
To the left.
That's
Cole
right.
is
Friends
very
of this
musical today.
He is. He's musically
very musical today. He's feeling it.
But yeah, Tape to Tape. They just announced a release date today at noon. I think early access is going to be on May 3rd, and we are going to try to have Huston on again to talk about it soon. Very excited for that team. That game looks sick. And they're playing like a build now. That's like for me, that's my summer streaming.
Can they just put us in the game though?
if you wanted to pay the kickstarting part, yeah.
No.
Exactly. I backed them, but
how much
I didn't give them right to like an NHL name.
How much?
I can give
was
him the Wama Plays name.
No, no one
All
wants
right?
that.
That's priceless.
We all know why your team really is called the Minuteman.
Because the EA decides to ban it. If they put that name, okay, if in tape to tape, because of some people are talking about it in their Discord, I'm like, oh, that's another game, another sports game that just proves
You
it. The
played
show
that
had it
game
in.
today.
Oof. Yeah, franchise mode. I like it a lot.
How he
How
makes
come I
his
can use it in
livings.
franchise mode? Weird.
Because
I
it's
will
a
say,
real.
I will say, the end of April into May is becoming stacked.
Yep.
Stacked, like from April 30th to May 30th, stacked.
Not
group
even
of
that.
games.
Look what we just had a conversation about. We have Minecraft Legends coming out. We have Burning Shores DLC from Horizon coming out. We have Redfall coming out. We have Jedi Fallen Order coming out. Like
Yup.
Jedi Survivor, sorry. Like it's just not stopping.
You
Like
forgot
it's just bam, 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 bam,
you
bam.
forgot
Like
the game of
yes,
the year.
PlayStation has their state of play tomorrow. Final Fantasy is not my thing. So
Oh wait, is that literally all it's about?
yes.
You
Pass.
forgot, Court. You forgot to mention the game of the year coming out in May.
What?
That is Legend of Zelda, my friend.
Oh yeah, no, I
Tears of
don't
the
care about
Kingdom.
that game.
I know you don't, but also it is a indie haven right now. So Spiritfall, a game I played on Twitch the other day, came out.
Right.
Roguelike game. WrestleQuest is coming out in May.
I want to play
And-
WrestleQuest. That's on Game Pass.
And now a
Sick.
build of early access for tape to tape is coming out. So
Now,
like no matter what your flavor is, someone is serving you
Flavor
something to
Fave?
eat.
Like I'm definitely all over WrestleQuest because it looks like WWF. I'm gonna say WWF because that's what it was. Superstars, the arcade game.
Yep,
That's what
sorry.
that looks like.
It's
It's very
it's a lot
good.
of fun. Waba and I played it for a good amount of time at PAX East.
I even got to play so the machine I was at because we got there so early was
I gotta
not
open the vent.
Go
it
for
was
it.
not part of the regular demo, so I was actually like farther along, so I got to play like tag team match and like build my own intro. It's cool. So I don't know,
It was
I'm looking
great.
forward to that.
They said you could play the 30 hours on this build right now.
Which is wild for
Yeah, it's
a demo.
30-hour
And someone
story.
so we
40-hour
did.
completion.
So we did. We see the
stacked that.
40 hours we spent in a row.
We got
on
our
the show
chili
floor.
mac and we got our PAX
Our
East
Wild
chili
Bills.
mac and that was it. And
Yeah.
we just played WrestleQuest for 30 hours and we were in a wrestling match.
That's so ridiculous.
Dude,
Um
so I saw so the girl that wrestled at PAX East, Little Mean Kathleen, was also at AEW in Rhode Island on that Friday in a squash match, which means she got destroyed. But she came out and I marked out. I like hit my buddy in the shoulder. I was like, I saw this girl wrestle at PAX East. Wild stuff. Wild stuff.
people cheered for her like pretty loud when she came out for
She's an indie
the
darling.
promo.
Indie darling.
Oh.
Little Mean
So
Kathleen.
So let's talk. We got some news today, or some points to talk about. And the first we're going to talk about is a game that we all had the pleasure to play, and it is EA Sports PGA Golf. Before we get started, we want to give a shout out to EA for providing us with the codes to be able to review and talk about this game. So we've all played actually a lot of golf games, throughout our gaming careers. I haven't played many
Tiger Woods, y'all.
contemporary, but I used
Best
to play
golf
that.
game of all time.
Was
Best golf game
it
of all time.
Cedric the Entertainer in one of them?
I don't know.
As like
Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods on. I think it was the very first one was on PlayStation.
I played the ones
PlayStation
on
1?
PlayStation 2.
And then it was like the Xbox version that took over, then the Xbox 360. That to me was the ultimate golf game. Like I tried 2K and I still like the feel of EA. I don't know what it is when they lost because the one with Roy McIlroy on the front, I love that game. I really dig that game and it didn't get as much fanfare.
Yeah.
And maybe because that was the first one without the Tiger Woods on it. But I don't know. I'm trying. We talked about this game and I think the game looks beautiful. I love the Masters. I love the little setup as you're going into the game to go back in the Masters. And it has the feel. It has the when you're in the backswing, you can press you have the when you have a controller in your hand, and yes, for your audio listeners, I'm doing a visual cue here. But when you have the controller, I call it schmaltz, but there's a way to play the game that you have to like pull back, but you got to pull it sideways so you're still doing a full thing, but you can tap the L1 button. so you can get that little power boost.
Yeah.
You still get that feel. The swing felt wonky for some reason. It didn't feel as fluid as it usually does.
Yeah, I felt I felt like like driving it and like putting, because I think the putting also it's kind of tough to see. Maybe I need to turn the grid, because you have to have the grid on it, but the putting meter is like horizontal bars, so you're like competing with the grid. But chipping I found to actually be like I was very successful at it, like making long chips. Call me Chipper Jones the way I chip that, you know?
He's a baseball player.
Same thing. And
Nope.
same difference, but I was actually doing pretty well at that. It was the swing, I feel like it's not as like clear, and it's obviously not as arcadey as other games I'm used to. When it comes to like golf games, I think the latest one I played was Everybody's Golf, which is like on the opposite end of a golf like so yeah, I mean it's definitely I do like though all the different courses. I don't watch a lot of golf, but I recognize some of them, one being the local one that we have over in Boston. Where is it? Brookline?
TPC Boston.
Yeah, it's like Country Club or
Yeah,
something.
it used to be the Deutsche
It's
Bank
bland.
Classic.
But isn't it just called like Country Club or something?
Yeah.
But
Here,
I
I'll pull up all the courses for us.
never played there, obviously. But
Obviously.
No, Augusta is the big one, Waba. Just for future reference.
Yeah,
The
but it's
one
not
that's on the cover. It's kind of a big deal.
it's not a good old local.
Oh no, it is a good old. It's like
Local.
the good old course of all the good olds.
Yeah,
And for a
but
while there, it was a little too good old.
yeah, but did you ever see Jason Vantek at Augusta
No,
Maybe.
hitting up the 19th hole?
Pez, what were your thoughts?
Fine game. I don't think it's something. It's not something
Fine.
with all these games coming out that I will probably make a lot of time for. The swing feels wonky to me. It doesn't feel smooth. So I have found myself either in the beginning, I found myself being like, this doesn't feel right. Like it's almost like there's like a 1 second input delay of when either, and I can't tell if it's like the stick or if it's the icon on the screen. So you're trying to obviously compensate for that, but the problem is then you get into like your hooking and your slicing. So like you're trying to figure this out as you're driving from the box, and then all of a sudden it's hooking into a sand trap, and you're just like, this is not my fault, right? This is not my fault because it doesn't seem like it is smooth. Chipping again is the best. I hated putting. I hated it. I hate the interface, the putting interface. Hated it. I don't like the putting interface. I don't like that it's like at the bottom of the screen. And like Waba said, it aligns with the kind of grid, which I do like. I like grids in my golf game so I can see the hill, you know, the hills and whatnot. But there's also no accessibility feature to change that. Because if I change it to like an aqua or a hot pink or whatever, I could see it better. But I can't. It's black. So when it comes to that, I'm not a big fan of how delayed, I'm going to say delayed, or input delay there is with the swing. And with golf, like, that's like saying, oh, I enjoyed a baseball game, but the swing feels delayed. It's like, well, that's what you do. That's the main mechanic of that sport. So, yeah, it looks great. I enjoy I tried the career mode. It was fine. Like, it's a career mode. It was good. But
fine.
it's fine. But the swing mechanics for me so far, once those get tweaked, I think it'll be a fun game. Until then,
I think they can tweak it. I think they can fix this game. Like
they have been.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks great. That opening shot when you get into the mat, you get into Augusta, and it gives you that like opening sweeping CBS shot, and you're like, yeah, this.
All of them, every course you play. Like I'm just checking out one right now.
They did sorry to cut him, but they're saying they're updating the putting grids. So they actually just came out the thing today saying they have comments and posts of instances where the grid lines are running like opposite too, and there's going to be a visual update ensuring the green grid fades away after you hit your putt too. That doesn't help with lining it up though, but they're like fast play. This is a huge post. Oh my gosh, they're really like camera angle zooming things. 3-click swing. They're going to be making a return for the 3-click swing, so it's
So
not
might
just going
that
to be
fix? That's gonna fix it. That's gonna fix it.
exactly. So I like that. One thing I liked about the show is how they give you multiple options, and you can use the one that's comfortable for you.
Mhm.
It's never a bad thing to give
Nope.
people options, and I love how they're like, you know what? Like we tried something new, which is great. They're like, we heard your feedback. Some of you like it. Some of
Well,
you
the
were
swing
having some
isn't
issue.
new. It's like they just changed it. It's like
Yeah.
they like what Pez said. I just tried to do a half swing and it just still did a full swing.
But it's great that they're listening and they're making those changes. And I think the team's very receptive on the PGA side. And you can see it, just based on this update that basically just like hot fixes, which is great.
I feel like they almost have to be because it's, when's the last time EA made a golf game?
Yeah.
So if
It
2K
was the
is
it was the PGA Roy McIlroy one, wasn't it?
yeah, but
It's a
when
few
And I
years
like
ago.
that game. I like that game. Yeah, my
but
daughter wasn't even
EA,
born yet.
right? EA now is pumping out 2K21, 2K23. So there's some competition, right? And we know
I didn't like
when
2K Golf. I didn't like it at all.
see, I heard a lot of people did like 21, but not 23. But if EA, and I get why they released it when they did, because they tried to coincide with the Masters that just concluded this weekend. So I get why they would do that, but man, that it seems like the term of the show is going to be delay, because there is another game that we're going to talk about that could probably use a delay, right? Based on that it's 2023 and what they're presenting us probably isn't acceptable by industry standards right now. But I will say, so far, PGA Tour ran well on my PlayStation. I didn't have any issues with like hitching or anything. It's just the swing feels wonky, and it's not.
The
And
game
if
looks beautiful.
if the swing feels wonky, it's not going to be an enjoyable experience. But I think once they fix that, implement that 3-button click, it'll be fine. It'll be good. It'll be fun.
I really like too how they have like the My Player, so you create your own golfer and like use that, and there's different challenges, and like that's cool. And like you can also upgrade them, like upgrade their equipment, and it adds like a cool little like RPG mechanic. I played a lot of UFC, and I felt like I didn't get that as much. Like, okay, I would get all these like cosmetics, cool, but like, what was I building towards outside of like a career mode?
Those have always been there.
Yeah, but I like how they added here, and there's actual things to upgrade. So like, there's something you're playing for.
You can actually upgrade your golfer really, really good in an EA game and make your golfer like, very good. I also like how you can change the difficulties in AI, and I like how the mechanics of changing where you're striking the ball, all that kind of stuff. I think it really does boil down to the swing. Like I've just played 2 holes while we've been talking here, and I've done birdie, par, 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 par. I swear, if my swing was different, I would be killing it at this. But it just feels weird. It feels like I can't get it there to do half swings or anything like that. I feel like I can't do it.
So interesting. I mean, if you're a golf fan, I think this is definitely a really good game for you. We will be having a review going live on our channel soon. More of a full review. This is more, just kind of takes from our experience. But yeah, and it sounds like the PGA team is really like listening to the community and implementing changes very quickly. So,
I hope
yeah,
so.
let your
I
voice
love
be heard.
golf. I love golf games. Like love them.
But yeah, I mean, again, if you're a golf fan, definitely recommend it. It's definitely got a little bit of nostalgia mixed with new graphics, and like we said, it looks beautiful, and you can play all the favorite courses that you can afford to go to in real life, like in Brookline, Massachusetts.
Yeah, just play the one in Brookline. Don't worry about Augusta or the.
That's the
PGA
only one I
Championship
played.
or any of that.
Scottsdale or any of
No
those
TCP at
amazing
Sawgrass.
courses.
No one cares.
Yeah.
Go to
That's the only one
Brookline.
I saw, and if you look closely at the 9th hole, you can see some guys kicking back Sam Adams by the bathrooms, and some nips they brought with them to the course. So I like the realism. Let's talk about another game that Pez alluded to. It's about Redfall. And the main subject here is that Redfall mentioned that they are going to be running at launch at 30 FPS. And I'm going to turn this over to Court and Pez because you guys are big FPS nerds.
We're big FPS nerds. I just got.
What are your? I know, right? What are your? Tell me what's grinding your gears about
So
this?
they put out. I think my biggest issue with all of this is it was just once again it's the new thing to do. It's a Twitter post. So Redfall Twitter account. I'm just gonna go to it right now, and I'm gonna say exactly what it said. So why can't I pull it up? There we go. Redfall. Redfall is launching on Xbox consoles with quality mode only. Xbox Series X will be 4K 30. Xbox Series S will be 1440p, 30 frames per second. 60 frames per second performance mode will be added via an update later to date. Now, all the people that got to play the review copy, I guess, preview copy of the game, they all stated that they played it on PC at 60 frames per second. So all the videos we've seen of the game on IGN or everywhere they got to play it, we only saw 60 frames per second. I think my biggest issue with this is they're telling us this now, and the game drops on May 2nd. It's less than a month from launch, and they're launching the game like this. And I look at how much money, billions of dollars, Xbox spent on this acquisition, and I think the game should have been delayed and it should have came out when 4K 60 was ready. Even though it could play well at 30 frames per second, it could not. Like that, it's kind of weird.
Pez, what are
Pez?
your thoughts on it?
I am immediately disappointed, and I'll tell you why. So I'll probably play it on PC, right? I don't run games at 4K, so you're telling me, okay? First, this does two things. One, it plays into the fallacy that once next gen's gone, I mean, once like current gen is gone, your Xboxes Ones and your PS4s, like games will run at 60 frames. That'll be perfect. Well, clearly not, because this game is only coming out on next gen consoles and PC. Okay. Secondly, if you're telling me that I have to play a first person shooter on my PC at 1080, which is fine because that's what I play on, but 1080, 30 frames, that is, I forget who was talking about it today on Twitter, but that is below industry standard. 60
Well, Aaron
frames,
Greenberg even put out a tweet saying that on the Xbox Series X, first party games will run at 60 frames per second.
60 frames is industry standard now, based on all the hardware we have, our PS5s, our Xbox Series X's, right? We have PCs now with like NVIDIA, 3000s, even like 2000s, right? Will run at 60 frames. Why are you putting out a quote unquote next gen product and not giving us an option for 60 frames? 4K 30 is fine. I understand it. But you're telling me 1080 30 is the benchmark? Like that's it? That doesn't I am not a 4K gamer, so I don't care about 4K gaming. I don't care.
That's a shame.
What? Well, I don't have the setup.
It looks so beautiful right now.
I don't have the monitor set up, so unfortunately I can't run it. But it's fine. I'm not in it. I play games where I don't care about graphical fidelity. Give me those juicy frames, right? Give me the juice. And my spoiled first world problems. You got that right, Web Train. Give me those 60 frames. So I'm still gonna play it because I'm excited for Redfall. I feel like it's gonna be a good game. But man, that took a little wind out of the sails. The dinghy moving a little less.
I was excited for this game, and I was really hoping. I saw a tweet earlier today, and someone was like, "Can Xbox players just get a win?" I'm not a console war. The game isn't out, so saying the game is bad before we even play it is a little premature. But we've had examples this year with Gotham Knights. We were all excited for it, and it came out at 30 frames per second. And what was our thing? The game ran weird. It didn't make any sense. And my biggest worry about this game is it is a shooter. And shooters need to be at 60 frames or 60 frames at least nowadays.
Yeah.
And regardless if the gameplay is decent, if it's not awesome, everybody's going to pan this game because of 30 frames per second. And that sucks.
I'm just surprised. And again, like you guys heard this, this is going to be great. Like, and it doesn't seem like my thing, but I'm going to try it. But I'm shocked kind of from my perspective that they dedicated 20% of their like killing it, online press conference. And this news comes out now. Like, yeah. I wonder, like, did they know about this all along? Or did it just come out? Because I feel like they would have couched it into other stuff. Be like, oh well, it's gonna run at what did you say, 1080, 30. But here are the other things. Like so, it kind of be like a. It's not like they didn't talk about it, but they could brush it off. But then to realize it now, it seems like they thought they could probably do more, and then they realized they couldn't. Because I imagine that they wouldn't wait this long to tell that.
Right.
And
Just-
that's very interesting to me.
It's just it's frustrating. Like
Uh,
if a game was being made on Switch and it was like where, 1080, Legend of Zelda is probably going to be 1080 30 and it's like, yeah, it's running on a handheld, I get it. But if Halo came out and was like, oh, it's 1080 30 or I don't know, Horizon came out was like, yeah, it's launching at 1080 30, everyone would be rightly like, what are you doing? Because these consoles, we're sold on these consoles being powerful. Sold on it. 4K 60, 1080 120. And then they're like, oh, it's 1080 30. Where we will we'll patch in 60 frames.
No one's
We'll
gonna
get
play it by
there.
then.
But it's like your 90% of games, the most players you're going to get is on launch day.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually.
We've talked to like industry people that are like, okay, your like biggest window is launch week. If you don't hook half your player base by launch week, they're going to somewhere else. In May, we've already said May is stacked, right? May is stacked. So if you're just throwing out 1080 30 and players are like, yeah, it's fine, but it doesn't run well. It doesn't look good on my, Dolby 4K Atmos TV like Court has. Then why would they stick around? They'll go play something else.
Play PGA Tour.
They'll go play PGA. Once the 3-click swing comes in, it's all over for Redfall. It's PGA time, baby.
That's right. And actually, as we talk about that, I see some NHL people. Never mind. NHL people are very think it's very cool that things were patched in right away. So I hopefully that's going to be a trend in other titles as well with that. But
yeah, if my biggest issue is if you're telling us in this blog post or Twitter post or whatever we want to call it that 60 frames per second is coming, tell us the date. Because we all remember how Halo Infinite launched and how it's still yikes.
Yep.
They can't have another yikes.
Redfall has fallen to 30 frames per second, and already people are not happy, is the consensus.
It will run great on PS Vita. Jesus, well played.
You could say Redfall has left us crestfallen.
Yeah, you could say that.
You could say that. I'm not saying we have to.
One could say, if one was so inclined.
One could say I would kick Redfall out the window. But
and then it would Redfall out the window.
Confucius says.
Well, let's turn over to the other side of things, the blue side of things from the green, and we want to talk about the PlayStation Plus game catalog for April. Now, we don't always go through all the games that release because like you can read about it, but this is significant to the point where this is a big month, and in addition, again, to a stacked May, some releases from Sony for them to throw out all these games. It's very encouraging. So I'm just going to list the games off, then we can kind of talk about our favorites. So the first big one, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Doom Eternal, Riders Republic, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, Slay the Spire, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, Court's favorite, The Evil Within, Wolfenstein The Old Blood, Past Master Fishing, whatever, let's get to the
Riders Republic, dude, a game that I actually wanted to play.
Paradise Killer and Sackboy Big Adventure, which I know a lot of us love, and then they're throwing some of the old Dooms on the classics as well as Dishonored Definitive Edition. So,
this is a good list,
really good, and it's something for everyone. I know one thing that we always talk about here is like, okay, like what are games that you can play with your kids? Like, Kenna's kind of like definitely, in my opinion, family friendly.
Go check out Pez's review.
Exactly. Wolfenstein is not. I imagine Monster Boy looks kind of like bright, so it says colorful action game, so that could be for kids. And then Sackboy, obviously, I would say is probably, in my opinion, like a great game to play with. I'm gonna be playing that with my daughter. But yeah, what do you guys think? What are you folks excited for? What are you folks excited for other people to get into too?
For me, it's Riders Republic because I played all the other ones. I wanted to play Riders Republic, and it was just one of those games where I was like, new IP, and I can't remember. There was a bunch of things that came out at the same time. I think it was like Psychonauts 2, like a ton of things came out at that time, and I'm like, and I Far Cry and all that. I was like, I just don't have time to jump into this game right now, and it hasn't really gone on sale enough for me to jump into a new IP like that because I'm not like to the extreme type of person, but I wanted to like try out, riding a bike down the hill and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to jump into that game.
Go
And I'm
play.
hoping a game like that gets a bigger player base because people
Mm.
are like, "Hey, we can go play it anyways."
Go play Kena Bridge of Spirits. It is it's a
Very
wonderful
hard
game.
eventually, and you turn it off.
Runs very well. Beautiful game. What'd you say, Court?
The puzzles got too hard, and I couldn't play it anymore.
The puzzles were difficult for Court. It's a good game. The rest,
Cute game.
I've wanted to play Monster Boy. I've never played it. Seems like a game that's up my weebish alley.
It
Mhm.
really is.
My Weeb Light alley. And I think the rest I've played already. I would say out of those games, if you're looking for a fun game that your kids can watch, it's gonna be Kena Bridge of Spirits because the rot are super cute and your kids are gonna love them. And you get to collect them and you can make them do fun things. But yeah, good game.
You can put
Great
hats on them
lineup.
and stuff.
Yeah, they can wear different hats. You can at like save points, you can feed them and pet them and do all this cute stuff. So great game, fantastic lineup. I don't have PS Plus Extra, so I don't know what I'm gonna get anyway. Probably none of it. I'll probably just get like a pat on the back. They'll say, "Hey, thanks for getting PS Plus the first. What's it called?
Yep.
PS Plus Basic or something like that?" Because that's what I am. I'm basic. I'm a basic pumpkin-headed boy.
You came so close to calling yourself a basic B there. You came very
No,
close.
I stopped myself. I stopped myself. This is a family-friendly podcast.
That's called restraint, and we respect that here.
Do you though?
Good job, Pez. Not from
Pre-
him, but
Pre
typically
and post
from
show
others.
though.
Pre and post show, let them fly.
Sail them off. But
He'll get them all out
on-
of the system.
But when I'm on, we are family-friendly only. But
I'm
yeah,
like
great
spreading
lineup.
here at my house, dying. So
It's
hot
great
in my
lineup.
room.
It's kind of hot in this room too.
It's not hot here.
because I don't have my window open because it's so windy outside.
Is it hot here? Or is it just me?
It's not you.
It's probably hot there.
You're right. You're right, though. I'm also interested in Slay the Spire. I just saw it's a deck builder. Hot take, though. I have zero interest in Doom. And I know
Eternal's
it's not
good.
a bad game, but it is the farthest thing from a game that I want. I've watched other people play it. I like, again, I don't mind watching other people play Doom on Twitch. I do not care. I will never play it.
Why?
I just don't.
Wolfenstein is a very good game, by the way.
Wolfenstein. I used to play Return to Castle Wolfenstein all day, every day online. One of my first online games.
Why
I'll
are
destroy
you so
people
Why are
in
you
that game.
hating on Doom? It's a hate.
pro
That's a hate.
demon? Why are you so
I'm
pro
a
demon?
demon. I'm a demon sympathizer.
This man
That's
loves.
very
This man
hate.
is a demon sympathizer, ladies and gentlemen.
Because let me tell you, when hell opens up, they have a right to exit hell. Okay?
Jesus.
And Doom guy is just not open to whatever. It's very fast paced. It's very gross. The things are spooky. I don't like the strafing type mechanic. It's not like I just don't care. Like I don't care. And I don't mean to say the game is bad, but I've just never seen a game that is just not my wheelhouse like that. That I'm not even like inclined to try. And the reasons have nothing to do with how good it is, because I recognize it's a very good, acclaimed, beloved game. And again, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not anywhere near anything I want to play. And it's just interesting because I feel like I don't find many games like that. And I've watched people play it. I watch people speedrun it. Awesome. Too. I can't do that, but it's just it's I don't know. The whole death, hard, heavy metal stuff. I listen to K-pop, guys. Like, that's come on. Like,
Yeah.
unless you
I-
can
I
put
stopped
like
listening
what's
to
that new
K-pop.
50/50 soundtrack on it, I'm out. But
So
Baba.
hot.
Do you know who's coming to Boston? Baby Metal.
Foo
are
Fighters?
you when?
September 14th. Baby
I'm-
Metal
I'm-
and Death Clock.
So
I'm going.
the Boston
Can we go?
Bruins will be playing. Oof, it's 3-2 in the second.
Right
Who's
now?
leading the Islanders?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, I want them to play the Penguins because I think they will steamroll the Penguins.
Yeah, well, they won't be.
Womp womp.
Good job.
I'll
GG's
go see
Penguins.
Baby Metal. Also, you guys don't care about this. Twice, who I think is great, says they're going on a worldwide tour. They're going to 6 places. The closest one here, Toronto
Who?
and New Jersey. Twice. Very good.
What are
You're not
they,
coming to my
K-pop?
house.
J-pop?
One
C-pop?
of I don't know. My favorite song they sing is in English, so I'm not entirely sure.
Why are you even allowed in my country?
I mean, I have a passport.
That's
Now,
not what I said.
my reputation, that's a separate thing for, the officials to determine.
True.
Based on my history, but, all I got to do is slip them a crisp Lincoln bill, and they'll be
Hey,
like, "Oh man,
We didn't free this lace for nothing, buddy. Here you go. Here's a crisp Abraham Lincoln for you.
Abraham," and I'll just be like, put that in their pocket and say, "I'll be on my way," and they'll be like, "Wow, that guy was really cool."
They will say, they will look at you,
And he
they
was
will
tall
salute,
and good looking.
and they will say, sorry, and then they will let you in.
I'm not, I just assume Canadian Border Patrol is like the mountain.
No, they're
What is
not.
it?
They are
RCMP.
legit Border Patrol. They will shoot
Just
you.
people like
They
on
will
the
shoot
ground.
you if they have to. Yep.
And they might kick you out if they are so inclined. Speaking of which, Pez, you had a topic that you wanted to share with the peoples.
Yeah, so as
Can
you
we
all know,
before we get into the topic, because I know
course.
what we're going to talk about, can I ask the baseball fan Pez here, how amazing is it that the games are only like 2.5 hours?
it's fantastic. The pitch clock is the best thing to happen in
The
baseball.
Blue Jay game is in the 7th inning. It is 8:30.
The pitch clock, right? I hear these bozos complaining on Twitter like, "Oh, the game's too fast. You can only do your pick attempt once. Blah blah." Shut your damn mouth. How about
Dude,
that?
people are stealing left, right, and center. You're getting
How about
crazy
that?
catches in the outfield.
Sit there and shut up and enjoy
Yes!
a baseball game
Tell him,
that
Pez.
doesn't take 4 hours. Look, I grew up in the pinnacle era of the Red Sox and Yankees, and let me tell you, if I had to sit through 5,000 pitcher changes in an
Chilling?
inning, yes, at the time, great. But Joe Torre and the amalgamation of Grady Little and Terry Francona, right, would always bring out a lefty. They substitute a right-handed batter. Joe Torre then brings in a righty, and these things take forever and ever. And like we're talking 3.5, 4-hour baseball games. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. The pitch clock is the greatest thing to happen to baseball. Get wrecked, nerds. It's exciting to watch. It moves at a normal pace, and people are actually watching the games. So
I'm excited to take my kid to a game because she usually gets to around the 5th inning and she's like, I'm done. The game will be over by then.
yeah,
It's amazing.
It's great. I don't understand why people don't like it. Because at one, the thing with people on sports fans on Twitter is they'll go, "Oh, I don't like the pitch clock. The pitch clock's dumb." Blah, blah, blah. And then they'll get rid of the pitch clock, and then they'll be like, "Oh my god, these games are too long. Why are these games 3.5 hours?" Blah, 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 blah. Like, you got to find a happy medium, right? So here's your happy medium. Shut your mouth, right? Enjoy your 2.5 hour baseball game and then go on with your life, because you now don't have to invest 4 hours a night to watch the Red Sox get the bag beaten out of them. You can watch it in 2 hours.
And I love the stealing. Like, there's so much stealing.
Wow, there was a lot of pent up aggression I didn't know I had there until
You're
I
welcome.
just started
I
talking.
knew you wanted to talk baseball, and we haven't really done it yet. And I was like, I know what you're about to talk about, and turn my hair off. But I'm like, I wanted to get your opinion on the baseball because I'm loving the pitch clock.
Baseball season's been great. The Red Sox stink, which like I knew they would. But you know who's been good? The Pittsburgh Pirates.
O'Neal Cruz, sexy. Brian Reynolds, one of the best players in baseball right now.
O'Neal Cruz, man, out now for 4 months. It's heartbroken.
No.
Red fallen, if you will.
Red fallen.
Red fallen.
What happened? I didn't even know he was out.
He did something to his knee or his leg or something like that. He has to go. I think
He
he's
is
getting
tall.
surgery. He's a tall man. Tall boy. So yeah, baseball, great. Pitch clock, great. People on Twitter, not great. Unless you follow us at twitter.com/3dadpod.
That's a great plug.
Then
Love
you're
it.
great.
Well
All
done.
right, talk about your thing.
Oh, Orioles crushing it, dude. Adley Rushman, whew. Incredible, that dude.
Jays just gave up a home run. Like, Spencer Torkelson's just every time.
Dude, the Jays are so hot and cold this year. It's out of control. Also, thank you, kids, earmuffs for a second. Thank you, Blue Jays, on Easter, because your 12-inning heroics that left Canada incredibly happy cost me $750 when I was betting on them. So thanks for nothing.
Sorry for your loss.
All right. Jesus didn't die for me to gamble on Easter, so I deserve it.
Heretic.
Yeah. All right. So, as you all know, Waba and I, Waba more than I, are in the streaming space over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/WabaPlays, Twitch.tv/Pazel56X. And if you're feeling saucy, ladies and gentlemen, Twitch.tv/3dads on a console. We do have it, but we don't really do anything with it. But it's there in case you want to be part of it. So, Trainwrecks, who was a Twitch streamer, doesn't stream on Twitch anymore because they banned gambling, which is like his whole thing. So what he basically was like, you know what? If I can't gamble on Twitch, I'm going to start my own streaming service. He and a gambling site. What's it called? The Stake.
Stake.
So
Stake.com.
So Stake.com basically created a streaming site called Kick, where seemingly anything goes. And the big draw of Kick is the streamer to platform split. So what I mean by that is Twitch has a 50-50 split where you give, you do a tier 1 sub to a streamer. It's $5 out of your pocket USD. The streamer gets $250, Twitch gets $250. Done. Kick is a 90-10 split. So you get your $5, the streamer gets $4, Kick gets $1, and the whole thing of it is streamers can make more money on Kick. Now, here's the problem with Kick. One, there is little to no moderation on the platform itself. One of their big streamers was showing adult content on there that he shouldn't have. I streamed just to see if I could get away with it, streamed a full NHL game. I streamed an illegal stream of an NHL game. So I was like pirating a ship that's already been stolen. So I'm a super pirate. If anyone
You're
else
right,
know.
because you weren't doing the illegal thing. You were showing the illegal people that it was wrong.
Yeah. But that
Batman.
made it that I streamed that whole stupid 3-hour thing, and not a peep, not a ban, nothing. There have been you've seen stuff pop up on Twitter where people have ethnic slurs as their username. Like, there is no moderation. There is no platform moderation. Now, there are mods for channels, but basically it seems like there is no TOS team, we'll call them, overseeing anything that's happening. It is a site rife with gambling, which I'm an adult. I don't gamble other than like sports betting, but I don't do slots. I don't do cards. Like, I don't do any of that stuff. But like, if that's your bag, dude, get after it. I don't care.
Mhm.
But it just seems like that's the new thing among Twitch streamers, because they hear the 90-10 split and they get all excited about it, right? Like, I'm making $500 a month on Twitch. I could be making $750 a month on Kick. And wow, I know you also want to talk about this as the more seasoned streamer of the group. But there is, I think Kick will be around. We talked about this pre-show, and Court was like, I don't know if Kick will be around. It is possible, like, the NBA and the NFL and the NHL like sue these dudes for this stuff, and then they eventually put in that TOS moderation. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I did it as like a ruse of like, LOL, look what I can do. Oh, I could stream the whole NHL playoffs like on a side monitor and never turn OBS off, and what's going to happen? I get my account banned. Who cares? I have 2 followers over there. Like, who cares? None of that matters. I just don't understand. I don't understand why streamers work so hard in the Twitch space to get their 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 follower channels after like years of streaming. No one logs onto Twitch and in a week has 6,000 streamers like followers. That takes 1, 2, 3 years of like super grind to do that.
Effort.
And then be like, oh, I'm moving to Kick, and expect that those 6,000 are going to move with you. But Waba, I want to transition to that because I know that's something that you feel very strongly about.
Yeah, I have a lot of opinions on Kick. I will say I watch one streamer on there a lot, and it's because I watched his gambling streams on Twitch. I don't like the site, and I do not venture out to new content. Also, I have a lot of thoughts, and I'll share some of them about some of the, I don't know, the weird rules that Twitch implemented and whatever. But if you're a streamer on Twitch and you choose to go to Kick, that's cool. You know, you can do that, whatever. But I feel like they're dangling a carrot that's not really. So I like, if you have a big established community and you choose to make the jump, that's going to be like, that makes sense, because if you have people that will follow you, you're going to make more. And I've seen not, the biggest streamers, but other ones who are like, I made an extra 30K this month. It's life-changing. Makes sense, because you have a platform that's being funded by stake.com, which is one of the largest international online gambling websites. They deal in crypto too. It's like, they have there's a lot of money in this. This isn't just like, oh, we're going to create a new, this isn't Mixer. Like, and I'm not saying like, this is like casino money.
This isn't Mixer. Ninja.
I imagine that there's there's potential that Stake might have more invested in this, especially in their top gambling streamers, than maybe Microsoft did with Mixer. And it's because this is casino money. This isn't just, oh, we want streamers to come to our platform and attract subs. This is, we're trying to get people on the site and hooked. That's one thing. But for you to go over, if you, let's say you have 100 subs on Twitch, what is that, 250? How many of those people are going to follow you on Kick? A platform they don't care about, they don't know about, they don't want to give their credit card information to. That's also something you have to think about. And where, all these stories are coming out. And it might be challenging because, like, if you get, like, what is it, the 90-10 split? Like, if you make 50, you get 50 subs over there, what do you get? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I don't have the math on top of my head, but, like, is the 90-10 split worth kind of bailing? Now, it's not a bad thing to do in addition to, and I know people that are doing it and enjoying their time over there, but I feel like that's very much a carrot to get people over there that may not see the same return, let's call it, that they're having over here, if you're not a bigger streamer with a big community that's willing to follow you. Now, I hope that's wrong, because again, I want to see people that I know go over there and be successful. I try to watch when I can. But admittedly, if somebody leaves Twitch, I don't really watch them. And I'm talking not just like Kick, but like YouTube too. Like Dr. Lupo, Tim the Tatman, people I would used to watch every day, they went to YouTube and I just don't. And not because I don't like them, it's because that's not my platform of choice. And I think you're going to have a lot of people see that, they go over to Kick. It's a lot of like follow for follow. And they're going to see maybe not the success that they expected. I hope they do. But Kick was, oh, go ahead.
No. Continue.
But it's interesting because Kick was built out of like a necessity. So like Twitch banned gambling, which like, again, a lot of money. Like you know, regular casinos, think international crypto casinos. Like this isn't small potatoes. This is real big, like sketchy money. But Twitch said you can do sports betting. You can do poker, which there are streamers that do. America's Card Room, which is allowed. You can do Stake US. So there's still gambling. You just can't have international sites. So what do? Now they go over to Kick and they can do whatever the hell they want. They can do the gambling. And again, it's run by Stake. They're going to get featured. And then other people see that and they think like, oh, that could be me. The site is created to drive people to stake.com. That's the function. And it's just weird. Also too, Twitch, one of the streamer awards that happened, one of the big sponsors was Fansly. Let me like break that down. What's worse to show to kids? A slot machine or adult content? I think both are equally bad. And again, I watched a Charlie Moist Critical video on this, and he said there was a QR code that showed up, and there was no. He said like he tried it, and there was no age verification. Like you have to scan your ID. So again, it's very interesting where they draw the line, and the fact that they drew the line at gambling. I think there's opportunity for moderation on both sites. I think Kick's moderation is abysmal. I think Twitch is very they talk out of like both sides of their mouth sometimes. But yeah, just I want people to realize like, just be smart when you're like going on these sites. Especially like be smart if you have kids. Just because one site is perceived good, it might not be. And just be aware of this type of stuff. And also too, even if you're an adult, just be aware like of where the money's coming from. Like the reason why they can do 90-10 is because they don't need sub money to like have their infrastructure or pay their people. It's because they're run by the largest crypto gambling site. And again, I've had a Kick account since very early on. One of my favorite gambling streamers, Rothstein, had that same issue. We took a month off. He now has his Twitch stream up running some one thing trying to get people over to his Kick. And he still does entertaining. He doesn't take subs. I don't think some of the gambling people don't because they don't need your money. But they produce the most people. 15,000 people there. And he doesn't want to send from any of them. One, he might not need it. And two, I think every person who signs up, he gets a kickback from. Like if they use his code. Which, fair. Good referral code. But just be aware of where things are going for. Do not be lured by the shiny split. Just be aware of what you're getting involved in, who you're getting involved with, and you are who you associate yourself with. So just be mindful of some of the other people on that platform.
Well,
and if you're comfortable with that,
it's funny.
That's great. Everyone.
It's funny you say that because there have been PR firms that have said like, hey, if we're going to work with someone, we look at where their platform is, right? And if their platform is Kick and they see one of their most famous streamers playing adult content, they're going to say, no, sorry, you may be family friendly, but we don't want to associate ourselves with this platform. It's also funny you mentioned follow for follow because you always see these people on Twitter just saying like, hey, who needs to get to affiliate, drop your Kick links, right? It seems like there is two major things happening. Follow for follow, which doesn't work, right? Because you could get 200 followers, but if they just follow for follow, they're not going to come watch you. And B, people are talking about Kick view botting their own streamers to inflate their numbers. Which we can't prove, but it is interesting that you open up a fairly new streaming site and there's already, 130 something thousand people watching Trainwreck or whatever, right? It's just, I don't know. This does, I think, lead us to a broader conversation of, as three of us are all parents and content creators. At some point, we need to, it's very hard growing up having kids in the digital age to monitor what they watch all the time, right? It's probably easier for you guys because you have young kids, right? I have a tween. So it gets harder. And that's another discussion of where does the impetus lie on what type of content kids are bringing in. And I think that is probably a conversation for a later podcast because we could probably go on for days about that. But if you have a platform like Kick and you are showing adult content and your 12-year-old stumbles upon this adult content, where does the impetus lie? Is it on the platform? Is it on the parents? Both? And is there any legal implication on your platform where this is being shown? So just a little teaser for a show down the road, but it is Kick seems like the wild west of streaming right now, and it's dangling that golden carrot and people are getting after it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would feel comfortable given who is backing Kick, if I would give them my payment information, my address, all that stuff, because it does seem like just a funnel for come get an account on stake.com and start gambling.
Yeah. And again, I don't have an issue with that because it's up to each person to make their own decisions. I hope that people who do choose to stream there, find success. Like I said, I'm more of a viewer over there. It's a site that I would not choose to stream from. I even looked into like the games I play. Nobody watches NHL over there. I know some people have brought their community over because they do events, and like that's cool. Again, if you have a bigger community, go ahead. Like, if that's something you choose to do, if that's something you want to do, but for me, that's not really a direction I want to head in. And it's I don't know. To me, it's interesting because I don't think I've seen something like this before because they've had a huge marketing push, and I've never seen basically like a casino be like try to stick it to a competitor, which in this case is Twitch, who basically kicked them out. But all right, that's our hot topic of the week or something. Any final thoughts, Court, Pez, before we say goodbye to the folks?
No, I'm melting here, man.
Send Court ice.
Can we get Hot Topic to sponsor our Hot Topic?
Do we want Hot Topic to sponsor our Hot Topic? No, they have anime stuff. Go to Box Lunch. They own it.
There you go. Wait, what?
There's a store called Box Lunch, and it's all anime stuff and Disney like Loungefly and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's where I got my daughter's Loungefly.
Yeah, that's
she has
where
a Duck Loungefly backpack. They're owned by Hot Topic?
Yes, they are. Man,
I feel bamboozled. All right, I'm leaving y'all with this. I've been bamboozled by Hot Topic.
So if you want to go get bamboozled, you can go find us at youtube.com/3dadsandaconsole. Again, we're going to be having more reviews live. We have some lined up this week. We will not say for what, but just stay tuned. And also, if you want to hang out with us on Twitter at 3dadspod as well, and rate us on your podcast platform of choice. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time and attention, and we will see you next week for the next episode. Bye, folks.
Wouldn't want to be,